Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा पदामि दान्ते स्वपदान्ते श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरुर्वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सुतां हरिजनसहितं चैतन्यदेव श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्तं च नमो पादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय शुक्लेशमते वेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाशात्यदेश श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome back to our weekly Chaitanya Charitamrita session. Today
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavats. Today we will be reading from Madhya Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 25, verse 151 onwards. And I'll quickly share my screen. All right. Okay. And so now we know that how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Varanasi. He is in Varanasi and he has instructed Sanatana Goswami. And then we come to know how Prakashananda Saraswati is the greatest of the, he is the king of the impersonalists. And he has 60,000 followers with him. And then through Maharashtrian Brahmana, Lord Chaitanya visits Prakashananda Saraswati's assembly. And then immediately by seeing the form of Lord Chaitanya, the ecstasy of the form and the power of Lord Chaitanya, simply by looking at him.
Do you have a pencil? I don't have a cutter, that's why. Just go in the evening and buy a cutter.
Mataji, please be on mute. So then immediately Prakashananda Saraswati, immediately he feels that he is the Supreme Lord. He actually humbles himself and offers obeisances at his lotus feet, at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. And now the conversation is going on between Lord Chaitanya and Prakashananda Saraswati. And in the process, Lord Chaitanya is glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam. Because the impersonalist main thought is the Brahma Sutras for them. The Param Brahman, the Brahma Sutras are for them the essence. So they just follow the Brahma Sutras. And so Lord Chaitanya is telling that Brahma Sutra, the Brahma Gayatri, is contained within Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Vedanta Sutra, the essence of the Vedantas, the essence of the Vedanta Sutra is Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam is so lucid and understanding with the examples that it is easy for everyone to follow, rather than simply thinking as a concept, Parabrahman as a concept, and trying to be focused on the light or on the impersonal feature. Lord Chaitanya describes, glorifies the Srimad Bhagavatam, how Srimad Bhagavatam contains everything. And now, sorry, the discussion is going on of Lord Chaitanya with Prakashananda Saraswati about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. And now we will come to 151. Mataji, read, Uma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Nigamakalpataroर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखाद् अमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसम् आलयं मुहुर् अहो रसिक भुवि भावुकाः. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all Vedic literatures, and it is considered unripened fruit of the wish-fulfilling tree of Vedic knowledge. It has been sweetened by emanating from the mouth of Shukadev Goswami. You who are thoughtful and who relish mellows should always try to taste this ripened fruit. O thoughtful devotees, as long as you are not absorbed in transcendental bliss, you should continue tasting this Srimad Bhagavatam, and when you are fully absorbed in bliss, you should go on tasting its mellows forever. Prabhupada, this is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.3. Hare Krishna Mataji.
See, these are the initial one of the third verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, first chapter. And Nigama Kalpatar Galitam Phalam means one of the speakers had once mentioned that suppose you imagine you have fully ripened mango with you. This mango has no skin and has no seed, and a straw is put, and now you are drinking the juice. How you will feel it? There is no skin, there is no seed, and fully ripened, nice Dashari mango. So then how you will feel? That is the sweetness of Srimad Bhagavatam, which Rathika Bhuvi Bhavuka, who are the devotees, the transcendental devotees of the Lord, relish it completely. Nonetheless, anybody like we, you, me, everybody, the sadhana bhaktas also, when we read the Srimad Bhagavatam, the bliss of Srimad Bhagavatam really enters and touches our heart. So that is the sweetness of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that way, Mahaprabhu is glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam in front of Prakashananda Saraswati. Next, Sumati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranam. Vayam tu na vitrupyama uttama shloka vikrame yashrinvatam rasaknyanam swadu swadu pade pade. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. We never tire of hearing the transcendental pastimes of the personality of Godhead, who is glorified by hymns and prayers. Those who enjoy association with him relish his pastimes at every moment. Purport, this is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.19. Hare Krishna.
The pure devotees of the Lord are never tired of hearing and listening to Srimad Bhagavatam. So suppose if you want to know that, oh, I am there for so many years, I don't know where I am I really progressing, am I understanding, I am not too sure, maybe I am a pure devotee already, or maybe I have not even started. It all depends how is our eagerness to hear and relish Srimad Bhagavatam. Are we getting bored, or are we always hooked onto it, always want to hear and share it with others? So these are some of the characteristics, some of the parameters which one can consider to understand the way we stand. Because Srimad Bhagavatam is such a sweet narration and such a sweet scripture, such a sweet Puranas. But nonetheless, unfortunately, many of the times when we go through it, sometimes we really feel sleepy. We are like, okay, Srimad Bhagavatam is okay. I know it is important, but right now I don't have some time for that. So unfortunately, we are there. So the point is, the transcendental devotees always relish, always look forward for the narration for hearing, sharing, and reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, because it is non-different from Sri Krishna. That is the point. It is non-different from Sri Krishna himself. So that is like direct association of the Supreme Lord. Sudha Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी धन्यवाद प्रणाम। अत एव भागवत करह विचार किया हैते पाबे सूत्र श्रुतिर अर्थ सार। ट्रांसलेशन बाय डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु advised Prakashananda Saraswati, study Srimad Bhagavatam very scrutinizingly. Then you will understand the actual meaning of the Brahma Sutra. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura states that without studying Srimad Bhagavatam, one cannot understand the purport of the Brahma Sutra, Vedanta Sutra, or the Upanishads. If one tries to understand Vedanta philosophy and the Upanishads without studying Srimad Bhagavatam, one will be bewildered and construing a different meaning, will gradually become an atheist or an impersonalist. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So it is very important for us to read or hear the Srimad Bhagavatam in association of devotees. One is we reading in association or we hearing from a devotee who is in parampara. If we are otherwise this scrutinizingly studying, that is swadhyaya, that is a very important factor or one important aspect of devotional service is swadhyaya, that is reading and scrutinizingly learning the scriptures. So unfortunately sometimes we may not have that kind of inclination of attachment, but nonetheless we really need to hear and read. I mean, the association of devotees, at least through the different characters, different purple personalities, the devotees, the non-devotees who appear in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and how they have, how the Lord reciprocates with them, and what is the learning that is all given to us by Srila Prabhupada in his purpose of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is complete. But nonetheless, if we can spend time and scrutinizing the study, there is nothing like that, because then that means we have achieved the highest. We don't have to worry that in the Vedas there are so many Vedas, so many Upanishads, and I have just one lifetime and I have to do my job and I have to do my housework. How will I go through everything in this? There's no need to worry. Just get attached to just Srimad Bhagavatam. That is more than enough. That is what has been told here. Shobha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Sri Prabhuji. Krishna's favorite Gosam Kije, text number 154. Nirantara Kara Krishna, Nama Sankirtana, Helaya Mukti Pape, Pape Prema Dhana. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ji. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued always discuss Srimad Bhagavatam and constantly chant the holy name of Lord Krishna. In this way, you will be able to attain liberation very easily, and you will be elevated to the enjoyment of love of Godhead.
So this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Prakashananda Saraswati. Prakashananda Saraswati, the topmost of the philosopher, and Mahaprabhu is telling him that you are little, because what happens in impersonal aspects, aspiring for the impersonalism, we become dry, and there is no reciprocation, there is no, like, I, that light, I understand. Jnana yoga is there, the philosophy is very there, but there is no reciprocation. And after some time, because we are not completely in the transcendental platform, there is a very high chance that we may not be achieving perfection. So he says that embrace Srimad Bhagavatam, learn it, study scrutinizingly, because the Vedantis are very good at learning the scriptures. Svadhyaya is their main thing. So he said, you scrutinize and study the Srimad Bhagavatam, and immediately you'll develop relationship with the Supreme Lord. Immediately you'll feel bliss, you'll get the love of God, you'll get the Krishna prema, the happiness you will get. Because what happened is, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing before this episode, he was dancing, and Prakashananda Saraswati is looking at Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya is exhibiting the 8 forms of 8 symptoms, Ashta Vikara, that is all the Svedana, the perspiring, the happiness, the smile, the laughter, all these 8 symptoms he's exhibiting. And then Prakashananda Saraswati, they are Aham Brahmasmi, like that. They are very calm, cool, and they are very apparently where they are not so much out, like they are contained within themselves. And when he sees Lord Chaitanya, he says that yeah, he knows everything and is still happy and he's able to be with others and he's able to do everything. So then Mahaprabhu says, for that, for you, you need to learn the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam contains the Vedanta Sutras. For that, you have to scrutinizingly study. Then you will also get that bliss, that happiness, the love of God, Krishna Prema, which is the ultimate goal, that is what actually all the aspirants should look forward. You will get it. Like that, he tells to Prakashananda Saraswati. Mataji, Dr. K. Karpagavalli Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Text 155.
Yeah.
Brahmabhuda Prasannatma na sochati na kanspati sama sarvesu buddhesu bhaktim labhate param. Translation by Prabhupada Kije. One who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed toward every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Purport, this is the verse from the Bhagavad Gita 18.54. Thank you, Mataji.
So, Hare Krishna. So just now Mahaprabhu tells Prakashananda Saraswati, please read the Srimad Bhagavatam, scrutinizingly study, attain love of God. That is the goal. And to support that is this Bhagavad Gita shloka that one who is transcendently situated at once Brahmabhuta Prasanatma, he at once he becomes fully joyful. He knows how he is connected to Lord. Who is he? Who is the Supreme? What is his relationship? And how can he achieve it? And what is the goal of life? He knows everything and he is in the path and he is understanding and he is on that track to achieve it and he is completely joyful. So he says that, and that state one attends pure devotional service unto him. Padma Mataji.
मुक्ता अपि लीलया विग्रहं स्थित्वा
Loud.
भगवन्तं भजन्ते. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Even a liberated soul merged in the impersonal Brahman effulgence is attracted to the pastimes of Krishna. He thus installs the deity and renders the Lord service. Purport. This is a quotation from Sankaracharya's commentary on the Narasimha Tapani Upanishad. Thank you, Madhya.
So this is very important. Now Shankaracharya was an impersonalist. He spread the impersonalism. We heard before that what was the reason, that is particular reason why he did so. That is one point. So he was the head of the spreading of the impersonalism, and he in his Narasimha Tapani Upanishad has reference that even a liberated soul merged in the impersonal Brahman is attracted to the pastimes of Krishna. He does install. So the pastimes of Krishna are so attractive that even an impersonal person who is thinking that everything is just light, everything is just energy, there is no personal feature of the Supreme Lord, even he gets attracted to the personal form, the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna. And now we will hear in the verses to come that how great impersonalists in the Bhagavatam, we know that examples of impersonalists who have embraced, who are the Brahmavadis, the Nirakaravadis, who are in the focused on the Brahman, they, when they hear the pastime of Krishna, immediately they get transformation of the heart and immediately get into the path of bhakti. We all know them and we will go through it them now. Krishnamurti Prabhu.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी, प्रणाम माताजी.
Hare Krishna.
परिनिष्ठितोऽपि नैर्गुण्या उत्तमश्लोका लीलया गृहीता चेत रजर्से आख्यायम् अधीतवन्
Go on. Aditavan.
अधीतवान्. Translation by A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Sukadeva Goswami addressed Parikshit Maharaja, my dear king, although I was fully situated in the transcendental position, I was nonetheless attracted to the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Therefore, I studied Srimad Bhagavatam from my father. This purport by A.C. Bhakti Prabhupada ki jai. This is quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 2.1.9. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So we know that Shukadeva Goswami was in his mother's womb for 16 years. And we know Vedavyas is his father. Vedavyas is the one who compiled Srimad Bhagavatam. And this child was not coming out of his mother's womb because he was already a completely realized soul within his mother's womb only. He was 16 years old. So then what he was understanding is outside world, my Dukhalem, Shashvatam, everything he already knows. He knows that there is no bliss in the outside world. There is nothing. There is only, we have to just search for God. That's all. And Lord is the, means that Brahman, we have to look for Brahman. That was his goal. And he was completely realized he has absolutely no inclination for anything in this material world. And he, as a grown up young boy, he was still in his mother's womb because he did not want to come out. Finally comes out and he walks out as a fully grown young man, 16 years old. And now he was a completely Brahmavadi and he goes and walks through the woods. He goes to a forest. There he hears two birds talking about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. And he hears, and actually there are two shlokas. One shloka I remember, other one I'm not clearly remembering. One shloka, what is it? This Aho Bhakyam Stanakala Putam, that how that Putana, she was such a big witch. She comes to kill Krishna. He was just a few days old that time. She comes to kill Krishna, and but because she had a desire for a moment to serve Krishna in the form of giving her milk to baby Krishna, Krishna just took that and gave the position of gave Putana the position of nurse in Goloka Vrindavan. he considered her as one of his mothers. Actually, one person has 7 mothers. One is the mother who has given birth, then the nurse, then the groom's mother, the wife, like that. 7 are there. So one of them is like a nurse, like that. And Sri Krishna gives the position to Putana as a nurse in the Goloka Vrindavan. So when he hears that, and those two birds are talking amongst amidst they are relishing the pastime of Krishna, that what is that personality of Krishna, how dayalu is, how compassionate, how merciful is. Can anyone be more compassionate than that somebody has come to kill you and he is giving her that high position? And when Shukadeva Goswami hears it, it enters into his ears. Since he was already in the transcendental position, completely purified. For us, what happens? We hear the pastime so many times because of so much of conditionings in our heart, no? Because of so much of imperfections and impurities. Immediately we understand that we are supposed to get stuck onto that, but unfortunately we don't get stuck onto that and get stuck onto many other things because of the conditionings. But Shukadeva Goswami, that way he was completely a pure soul in a transcendental position, just that his focus was on the Brahman. But when he heard this fasting, immediately he was completely transformed and immediately gets 200% attachment towards Lord Shri Krishna. This is one of the pastimes. Next, who wants to read? I cannot read today. I have so much of cough.
Hare Krishna
Arun,
Mataji.
Hare Krishna Madhya.
Yes, Arun Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Madhya.
Yes.
तस्यारविन्दनयनस्य पदारविन्द किञ्जल्कमिश्रतुलसीमकरन्दवायु अन्तर्गता स्वविवरेण चकार तेषाम् शङ्कुशोभम् अक्षरजूषाम् अपि चित्ततन्वो. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. When the breeze carrying the aroma of tulsi leaves and saffron from the lotus feet of the lotus-eyed personality of Godhead entered through the nostrils into the hearts of those sages, the Kumaras, they experienced a change in both body and mind, even though they were attached to the impersonal Brahman understanding. Purport: this is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 3.15.43. For an explanation, see Madhya Lila, chapter 17, text 142. Hare Krishna.
So this, so one example is Shukadeva Goswami, just now we read, and this another example is the 4 Kumaras. Once these four Kumaras, now the next level, they wanted to always remain as children of 4 or 5 years, less than 5 years. Because like Shukadeva Goswami, at 16 years, he did not want to come out because he understood the material world is just useless. Similarly, these 4 Kumaras also understood the same tattva and said they didn't want to grow only because once we grow, then puberty and so many problems, so many attraction, not attraction, so many things happens when we grow. So we will remain like children, like that. So, but they were highly qualified and very old. But they were like 4 small Kumaras. They are the Chatush Kumaras. What happens once they walk straight to the Vaikunta and they cross the 7 doors and they just enter. And when they enter, then there the pastime of Jaya Vijaya comes. And they are the Dwarpalakas of the last door where Narayana is there. Lord Narayana is there, Vishnu is there, with the Lakshmi ji serving him. And this Jaya and Vijaya are the, what you call, the Dwarpalakas, the security guards, so called. And they're also very great devotees. See, none, like without any devotion or all around who are in the Vaikuntha planet doing any service, they are all devotees only. Just that in the form of service, they have different roles, but otherwise, like you and me means, like suppose if we have mixed devotion or this and that desires, no, then we cannot become even a blade of grass also in the Vaikuntha. So that is clear. So this Jaya Vijaya, they were the devotees of the Lord. And when these 4 Chatush Kumaras, they wanted to enter into the Garbhagudi, enter into the Narayana's place. Now everybody is right. Now Chatush Kumaras, they are the transcendental, they are the age-old sages actually, and they don't have to take permission from these security guards to see Narayan. That is, they are correct. But Jaya Vijaya, on their side, when they had to stop Chatush Kumaras, they were also correct because that was their service. The service, why you are keeping the security guards, or why are you keeping the Dwarpalak, just to see that who is coming, who is not coming, you understand. Now they did not even ask, they did not even tell, they just walked in. And so these there is something happened at the entrance and Narayana comes out. Now Lord Narayana He see how he what role he plays. He did not tell the Chatush Kumara, see what is this, what is that, or immediately he takes the role and he says, he begs forgiveness from Kumara that, yeah, my Dwarpalakas did the mistake of stopping you. You are such great personalities. Like that, he glorifies the Chatushla Kumara, because see, it's like that. Like suppose we have our children and some guests come and the guests get angry with our children. Ideal right etiquette is to scold our children, not the guests. But nowadays, unfortunately, the etiquette has changed and they protect their children in front of the guests and scold the guests only. That is a different thing. But otherwise, generally, how it is we scold our children, hey, why did you do that? You shouldn't beg, ask, tell sorry to auntie or whatever. So here what happens is, so when Narayana comes to the gate, and that time he had that tulasi leaves decorated, and that just by that smell, immediately when the breeze carrying the aroma of tulasi leaves and saffron from the lotus feet of lotus at Lord entered the nostrils of the hearts of those sages, Kumaras, they experience change automatically, because they are that pure devotees, pure people. They are all completely pure. Both change in both body and mind, even though they were attached to the in-person realm. So that is the power of Lord's association. That is what has been glorified here. Sudhamata.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
आत्मा रामश्च मुनयो निर्ग्रन्थ अपि उरुक्रमे कुर्वन्ति अहैतुकीं भक्तिं इत्थं भूतगुणो हरिः. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Those who are self-satisfied and unattracted by external material desires are also attracted to the loving service of Sri Krishna, whose qualities are transcendental and whose activities are wonderful. Hari, the personality of Godhead, is called Krishna because he has such transcendentally attractive features. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.10. For an explanation, see Madhya Lila, chapter 20. Thank you, Mataji.
So Krishna itself is all attractive. So there is one more this reference that how the Atma Ramas, who are the self-satisfied souls, who are completely satisfied within the self, because there is nothing for them to look around. They know what is the essence in life. They themselves, they get just attracted, pulled out by the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. And that is the special, that is the greatness of Lord Shri Krishna. That is contained in the Srimad Bhagavad. That is what Mahaprabhu is trying to tell Prakashananda says. Sumati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
हे न काले से महाराष्ट्रीय ब्राह्मणा सभा ते कहिला से श्लोक विवरणा. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. At this time, the Brahmana from the province of Maharashtra mentioned Lord Chaitanya's explanation of the Atmarama verse. Hare Krishna.
Now we remember that in the previous chapter we had this Atmarama verse. The entire chapter was dedicated to this Atmarama verse, because Lord Chaitanya had explained 61 ways of how it was correctly dissected, different combinations, permutations, and how this Atmarama verse had 61 meanings, which Mahaprabhu explained to Sanatana Goswami. So now one of that purport, this Maharashtrian Brahmana who was with Mahaprabhu gives, because Atmaram verse was referred. Padma Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Hare Krishna.
एक श्लोकेन अर्थ प्रभु एक शास्त्री प्रकारा करिया चेन यहाँ शुनि लोके चमत्कारा. Translation by Prabhupada ki Jai. The Maharashtrian Brahmana stated that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had already explained that verse in 61 ways. Everyone was astonished to hear this. Thank you,
So
Mataji.
that's the Maharashtra Brahmana tells to the audience there that you know what, our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has explained this in 61 ways, like that. Everybody was like, oh my God. Krishna Murti Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
ताबे साबे लोक सुनीते आग्रह करीला एक सति एक सस्ति अर्थ प्रभु विवरी कहिला. Translation by Sri Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki Jai. When all the people gathered there, expressed the desire to hear again the 61 different meanings of the Atmarama sloka, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained them. They again explained them. Hare Krishna.
Mahaprabhu, it was not that reference or by studying he told 61. He was spontaneously telling to Sanatana Goswami. And there was not a note he made. And when he was told to tell, again he told, because he is just the Supreme Lord. Uma Devi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Niyalokera bada chamatkara hela Chaitanya Gosani Shri Krishna Niradharila. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When everyone heard Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's explanation of the Atma Rama Shloka, everyone was astonished and struck with wonder. They concluded that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was none other than Lord Krishna himself. Hare Krishna
Everybody
Mataji.
got the realization and the darshan of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One is simply saying, one is understanding is Lord Shri Krishna. So they are also not simple people, someone like anyone they are not. Because if they are going to get the darshan of Lord Shri Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are also elevated souls. So they all realized that Lord Chaitanya was none other than Supreme Lord Krishna. Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
एता कही उठिया चलिला गौरा हरि नमस्कार करे लोक हरि ध्वनि करी. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After giving those explanations again, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arose and took his leave. All the people there offered their obeisances unto him and chanted the Mahamantra. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was like, okay, means he doesn't like too much of glorification. And now everybody is like, oh, you are Lord. And that though Mahaprabhu doesn't want on it to tell that, oh, you are Lord, or people feeling that he is the Supreme Lord. So immediately he's like, let's move. And everybody started chanting the Mahamantra. So who read just now? Sumati Mataji, na? Padma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sab kashi vashi kare nama sankirtana preme hase kande gaya karaye nartana. Sorry. All those Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All the inhabitants of Kashi, Varanasi, began chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in ecstatic love. Sometimes they laughed, sometimes they cried, sometimes they chanted, and sometimes they danced. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So everybody means that love of God, it just touched everybody's heart and everybody's in ecstasy, ecstatically they are chanting the Maha. Uma Devi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sannyasi Pandita Kare Bhagavata Vichara Varanasi Pura Prabhu Karila Nistara. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After this, all the Mayavadi sannyasis and learned scholars at Varanasi began discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered them. Hare Krishna Mataji.
The discussion about the glories of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the essence of the Srimad Bhagavatam, how one can achieve the love of God by hearing and reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. And after he telling and after he explaining the Atmanama, after people connecting with him, immediately everybody, entire Varanasi was reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. All glories. So they were all reading the Srimad Bhagavatam and Mahaprabhu delivered all of them. Krishnamurti.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Nijaloka Lana Prabhu Aila Vasagraha Varanasi Haila Dvaita Nadia Nagara. Translation by Sri Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then returned to his residence with his personal associates. Thus he turned the whole city of Varanasi into another Navadvipa, Nadia Nagar.
Already chanting the Maha Mantra, so now Varanasi also became like Navadvipa. Read.
Shall I purport, Mataji? Yes. Purport by Sri Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki. Both Navadvipa and Varanasi were celebrated for their highly educated activities. At the present time, these cities are still inhabited by great learned scholars. But Varanasi is especially a center for Mayavadi sannyasis, who are learned scholars. However, unlike Navadvipa, there are hardly any devotees in Varanasi. Consequently, a discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam was very rare in Varanasi. In Navadvipa, such a discussion was quite ordinary. After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Varanasi and turned Prakashananda Saraswati and his disciple into Vaishnavas, Varanasi became Varanasi became like Navadvipa because so many devotees began discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. Even at the present moment, one can hear many discussions on Srimad Bhagavatam taking place on the banks of the Ganges. Many scholars and sannyasis gather there to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and perform Sankirtana. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Oh, these Varanasi and Navadvip both were very highly educational centers. Like previously, when they had to learn scriptures, these are the heads, these are the main centers. They had to go to Varanasi or Navadvipa. But unfortunately, Varanasi was famous for its impersonalism. And now, after this Mahaprabhu's Prakashananda Saraswati accepting devotional service or accepting the Srimad Bhagavatam, accepting the personal feature, immediately there was so much of Srimad Bhagavatam discussions. And Prabhupada says that even now, like in the banks of Kashi Ghat and all, we hear devotees reading the Srimad Bhagavatam because that parampara is still, we can feel it. But otherwise, Varanasi is little dominated by the impersonal feature, impersonalism. Sudha Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। निज निज गणलय निज गणलय प्रभु कहे हास्य करी, काशीते आमी ऐलाना वेचिते भाव काली। Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Among his own associates, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu laughingly said, I came here to sell my emotional ecstatic love. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
He's like, I just came here and this is the situation. Padma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Kashi graha kanali vasu navikaya punarapi dese vahi laoyana hiyaya. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Although I came to Varanasi to sell my goods, there were no customers, and it appeared necessary for me to carry them back to my own country.
Mahaprabhu's main goal was love of Krishna, and he was like, everybody is so much of impersonalist, I may not get any girakis here. And now the entire city is personalist. They are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and Mahaprabhu is completely happy actually. Uma Devi Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी। आमी भोजा वहिमो तोमा सबर दुख फैला, तोमा सबर इच्छाया विना मूल्य भिलयला। Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All of you were feeling unhappy that no one was purchasing my goods and that I would have to carry them away. Therefore, by your will only, I have distributed them without charging. Purport. Shall I read, Mataji?
Yes.
Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When we began distributing the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Western countries, a similar thing happened. In the beginning, we were very much disappointed for at least 1 year because no one came forth to help this movement. But by the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, some young boys joined this movement in 1966. Of course, we distributed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra without bargaining or selling. As a result, this movement has spread all over the world with the assistance of European and American boys and girls. We therefore pray for all the blessings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu upon all the devotees in the Western world who are spreading this movement. Hare Krishna
Here,
Mataji.
Srila Prabhupada is expressing his gratitude actually. He went to the Western world completely in the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Varanasi, he was like, there are no people to buy. That is, it's completely filled with impersonalism. But in the Western world, there is nothing called as any isms. There was nothing. They were just by themselves. Completely bodily consciousness. And when Mahaprabhu Chaitanya, when Lord and Srila Prabhupada, when he went for first 1 year, he was like just by himself. There was no one, nobody is understanding what he is telling, and there is no one to listen to him. And slowly, there were young boys and girls who joined in 1966, and then they took that initiative. They wanted to help Srila Prabhupada, and completely happened by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then Mahaprabhu. And so now Srila Prabhupada is telling that all blessings to all of them who are preaching this Mahaprabhu's movement. Shobha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dharat Pranam Mataji. Krishna
Hare
Kaviraj
Krishna.
Goswami ki jai. Text 171. Sabhe ka ye loka सारिते तुम्हारा अवतारा पूर्वा दक्षिणा पश्चिमा करेला विस्तारा. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All the Lord's devotees then said, you have incarnated to deliver fallen souls. You have delivered them in the east and in the south, and now you are delivering them in the west. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. So now Mahaprabhu Navadvip Dham is in the eastern side of India. Then he had come to South India. And South India, he delivered everybody. And then he went to Vrindavan. And now on the way back, he's Varanasi. So he said, now on the west, you are almost towards the west. Because east is complete east is Navadvipa. And then south he had come. And now, so now you are, so that is what you have been doing. Entire India, you have going around and you are distributing love of God. Who read just now? Shobha Mataji, no? Sudha Mataji. Whoever finished, put your hands down. Little confusing.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Yes.
Krishna Mataji. Dandat pranam.
Dhanyavad.
एक वाराणसी चिला तोमाते विमुख ताह निस्तारिय कैला आमा साभर सुख. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Only Varanasi was left because the people there were against your missionary activities. Now you have delivered them and we are all very happy. Thank you, Mataji.
So Varanasi was the head of impulse. It was very difficult to crack through Varanasi, and that Mahaprabhu achieved, and devotees are all very, because devotees all want everybody to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra always, because they are equally compassionate as the Supreme Lord. And now that has been achieved, they are very, very happy. Dr. K. Karpagavalli Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Text 173. वाराणसी ग्रामे यादि कोलाहल हैला ग्रामी देसी लोका अस्ति लागिलाम. Translation by Prabhupada Ki Jai. After the news of these events were broadcast, everyone from the surrounding neighborhoods began to pour in to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Now everybody knew
Hare
spread
Krishna,
that,
Dandat
oh,
pranam.
now everybody started telling, oh Lord, is there Krishna? Is there? He has told he is like that, he is like this. And to look his glories, his transcendental glories, his external look, his Mahabhav and his knowledge, everything, everybody. And just word just spread it. Everybody was flocking to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lalita Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Hare Krishna.
लक्ष कोटि लोक ऐसे ऐसे नाही का गणना संकीर्ण स्थाने प्रभुराना पाए दर्शना. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hundreds of thousands of people came to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There was no counting the number because the Lord's residence was very small. Not everyone could see him. Hare Krishna.
Everybody is just flocking and want to see. Everybody wants to have a darshan. Chandana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat pranams. प्रभुया बेस्नाने आना विश्वेश्वर दर्शने दुई दिके लोक करे प्रभु विलोकने. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to take his bath in the Ganges and to see the temple of Vishweshwara, people would line up on both sides to see the Lord.
Wherever Mahaprabhu goes, everybody, people are just flocking. It's like Jujube example is Prime Minister. If he is there, then everybody will like want to see, like that celebrity. So he's the Supreme Lord only. So then he goes to Kashi Vishwanath, people are saying. If he goes to Dashasham, there people are saying. If he goes to any ghat, people are saying. Everybody are going around Mahaprabhu, just have a darshan of it. Just now who read? Now Uma Devi Mataji. Uma Devi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. बहुतुली प्रभुत कहे बाला कृष्ण हरि दंडवत करे लोके हरि ध्वनि करी. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed by the people, he would raise his arms and say, please chant Krishna, please chant Hari. All the people received him by chanting Hare Krishna, and they offered their respects to him by this chanting.
So when he is going, he says, chant Hari, chant Krishna. And everybody is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. Everybody, entire Varanasi city is just resounding the Harinam, like that. Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
येई मता दीने पाचा लोका निस्तारिया आराधना चलीला प्रभु उद्विग्न हया. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In this way, for 5 days, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered the people of Varanasi. Finally, on the next day, he became very eager to leave. Thank you,
5
Mataji.
days he gave time, and then now he's like, I have to leave the city because it's like too much of popularity, and Mahaprabhu doesn't want it, and he's like, let's leave. Padma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
रात्रयुती प्रभु यादी करी लागमना पाछे लागला इला ताबे भक्ता पंच जना. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. After rising very early on the 6th day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started to leave, and 5 devotees began to follow him. Thank you,
So now Mahaprabhu is like, early, when it's still dark, he's like, okay, I'm leaving the city of Varanasi, and then 5 devotees are following him. Who are they? Sumati Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Tapana Mishra Raghunatha Maharashtriya Brahmana Chandrasekhara Kirtaniya Paramananda Panchajana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. These 5 devotees were Tapana Mishra, Raghunatha, the Maharashtrian Brahmana, Chandrasekhara, and Paramananda Kirtaniya.
These people started following Mahaprabhu, like, Aap jahan jao, we'll also come. There is like, we are so much concerned with our own families, our own things, and he's like, you're going bye-bye. But they just want to follow, like Mahaprabhu. They just left. They wanted to leave. Dr. K. Mataji, Karpagavalli Mataji.
Text 180. Sabe chahi Prabhu Sangi Nila Chala Yati Sabe Vidaya Lila Prabhu Yatna Sahiti. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. After these 5 wanted to accompany Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Jagannath Puri, but the Lord attentively bade them farewell.
So he's like,
Thank you.
they wanted to go to Puri. Now Mahaprabhu from Varanasi is going back to Puri because he came from Vrindavan, he went to Prayag, he came to Varanasi, now he goes to Puri. And they are like, I'll come. Then Mahaprabhu said, no, I'll go alone. And he just told them bye-bye. Uma Devi Mataji.
Yan Raija Pache Esa Amare Dekite Ebe Ami Kayamu Jari Khanda Pate. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if you want to see me, you may come later, but for the time being, I shall go alone through the Jharikhanda forest.
So we will see in Jagannath Puri later, but right now while going, I'll go alone. Like that he says. Lalita Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी. सनातने कहिला तुम्ही यहाँ वृंदावन तुम्हारा दुई भाई तथा करिया छे गमना. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised Sanatana Goswami to proceed towards Vrindavana, and he informed him that his 2 brothers had already gone there. Hare Krishna.
So now we know that Mahaprabhu was coming from Vrindavan. Then he goes to Prayag. And here what happened is he meets Rup and Pallava at Prayag. All those passages we have read. So Rup and Pallava, they are going towards Vrindavan. And Mahaprabhu came to Varanasi. And in Varanasi, what happened? He met Sanatana Goswami. So he's telling Sanatana Goswami that you go to Vrindavan and your brothers have gone to Vrindavan. Because he had met them in Prayag. No? So he told them to go to Vrindavan that time. So they have gone and you also go to Vrindavan. Like that he says. Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranam. Kanta Karangiya Mora Kanta Karangiya Mora Kangala Bhakta Gana Vrindavane Aile Tandera Kariha Palana. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami, all my devotees who go to Vrindavana are generally very poor. They each have nothing with them but a torn quilt and a small water pot. Therefore, Sanatana, you should give them shelter and maintain them. Purport: following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have constructed temples in both Vrindavana and Mayapur. Navadvipa, just to give shelter to the foreign devotees coming from Europe and America. Since the Hare Krishna movement started, many Europeans and Americans have been visiting Vrindavan, but they have not been properly received by any ashrama or temple there. It is the purpose of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness to give them shelter and train them in devotional service. There are also many tourists eager to come to India to understand India's spiritual life, and the devotees in our temple, both in Vrindavan and in Navadvip, should make arrangements to accommodate them as far as possible. Hare Krishna. Mataji.
Actually, Prabhupada is pouring out his heart here, and actually, what had happened previously devotees, people going to Vrindavana or Badrinaran, like that means, okay, my rest of my life I live there, and they don't have anything, and just summer walking, and they go to this, and they just dedicate themselves. So that was the situation, and Mahaprabhu is telling Sanatana Goswamis, then time they are really poor, at that time you try to maintain them. So this is the kind of one of the savers for you in Vrindavan. And here Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya, our Srila Prabhupada, what he is telling is, see, previously also in 1960s, 70s also, there were a bunch of people like from different various countries outside India who were in the who come towards the east, who have kind of a spiritual thought, a kind of they have some knowledge of spirituality, and they want to explore more, and they come towards the east, they come towards India. And when they come to India, people tell them this, and as Vrindavan is one of the places of Lord Shri Krishna, quite famous, now that time only. So people come. And when they come, then there is no proper place to stay. And because they're Europeans, so it becomes very difficult for them in terms of stay or food to completely get adjusted with the Indian environment. It is not impossible, but it's very difficult. So Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada, what he did is when he constructed his Hare Krishna temples, he made sure that any kind of people, whoever goes there, they are completely comfortably accommodated. So that was his, because when he went to spread the movement, then lot of devotees became in Hare Krishnites, and everybody wants to see India now. When they hear the pastimes of Krishna, when they hear the Leelas of Krishna, when they hear the stories of Krishna, and they understand that Krishna performed all these things, and here in Vrindavan and all other places, or Lord Chaitanya in Navadvip, so many places. So now the devotees want to come and see. So then lot of devotees will come from America and Europeans, and they need to be properly accommodated. So we have made arrangements in our temple to accommodate everybody, like that Srila Prabhupada is telling by Krishnamurti Prabhu. Krishnamurti Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Namaste. एतबलि चलिला प्रभो सबालिंगिया सेबि पदिला तथा मुरुचिता हना. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. After saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced them all and began to proceed on his way, and they all fainted and fell down. Hare
He told
Krishna.
bye, he told you don't come, I'll go, we'll see you in Puri sometime. And he just moved, and these all devotees fell unconscious. Padma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
कतशने उठी सबे दुखे घरे आईला सनातन गोष्ठाने वृंदावने राचैला चलीला. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After some time, all the devotees got up and turned very much grief-stricken. Sanatana Goswami proceeded towards Vrindavan alone.
So Sanatana Goswami also leaves and goes towards Vrindavan. Last Umadevi Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी. राजा कहे हमारा पोस्ता राया हाया पिता.
Wait. 186.
Oh, sorry. एता रूपा गोसानी अबे मथुरा एला ध्रुव घाटे तानरे सुबुद्धि राया मिलीला. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When Rupa Goswami reached Mathura, he met Subudhi Raya on the banks of the Yamuna at a place called Dhruva Ghata.
So there is a big story of Subudhi Raya, which devotee will take. Thing is, Rupa Goswami from Prayag has gone to Vrindavan, and he has reached Mathura, and there he meets Subudhi Raya. and he is a devotee of Lord Chaitanya, and he has his own story because he was a resident of Navadvip Dham before. So here Sanatana Goswami is going towards Vrindavana, where Rupa Goswami has reached Mathura. Here the devotees of Varanasi have fell unconscious. Mahaprabhu is going via Jarikhanda towards Jagannath Puri, Granth Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Shri Lila Prabhupada ki jai, Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Ananta Koti Vaishnava Shri Guru Hari Bo.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for the nice class. Thank you.